Have you ever wondered why some people seem to walk through life with fearless confidence? Why they dive headfirst into challenges, while the rest of us hesitate? Here's a secret: they're not fearless because they have no fear. They're fearless because they refuse to be ruled by it. And if you've ever met an Aries, you've seen this energy in action. But what if I told you that the traits we often envy in Aries, their boundless energy, their unstoppable drive, their magnetic charm, are not just random personality quirks? They're part of a much deeper story. A story written in both the stars and in the hidden corners of the human mind. In today's video, we're going to unlock that story. We'll explore the psychological secrets and astrological truths behind Aries' captivating power. And more than that, we'll discover how their strengths, and even their hidden insecurities, can teach us something valuable about ourselves. This is not just a zodiac breakdown. This is a journey into human nature itself. So, if you're ready to understand Aries in a way you've never heard before, stay with me. And hey, if you love deep dives like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this video with someone curious about the stars. Now, let's begin. Have you ever stood at a crossroads in your life, hesitating, second-guessing yourself, wondering what if? We've all been there. Stuck. Frozen by fear or uncertainty. But imagine for a moment what it would feel like to just move forward. Without overthinking. Without hesitation. That's where Aries teaches us something powerful. You see, Aries people aren't fearless because they lack fear. They're fearless because they choose to trust themselves before fear has a chance to speak. In the world of psychology, we call this intuitive decision-making. It's that split-second trust in your gut that says, go for it. Aries live by this. And it's not reckless. It's liberating. Think about a moment in your life where hesitation cost you an opportunity. A job interview you didn't apply for. A relationship you didn't pursue. A conversation you didn't start. Aries reminds us, sometimes, action itself is the answer. Their mind doesn't linger on endless analysis. It moves forward. And maybe, that's something we could all practice. But what drives this forward momentum? In astrology, Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of action and battle. It gives them a psychological need to feel in control of their path. Aries don't want to follow someone else's map. They need to create their own. That's why they step into leadership roles naturally. Not because they crave power, but because they crave freedom. And leadership gives them that freedom. It allows them to shape their life, rather than be shaped by others. Look around you. Who are the people leading with conviction, carving new paths, refusing to settle for the way things have always been done? Chances are, there's Aries energy at work. This isn't about titles or positions. It's about mindset. Aries shows us the value of being the leader in our own lives. Taking responsibility. Choosing our direction. Saying, this is my journey. But here's something many people don't see. Beneath all that boldness is vulnerability. The kind of vulnerability most of us hide. You might look at Aries and see confidence. But often, deep down, they carry the same doubts we all do. The fear of failing. The fear of not being enough. It's just, they don't let those fears stop them. They feel the fear and act anyway. This hidden layer is what makes Aries human. Behind the brave face, there's an inner child asking, am I good enough? The difference is, they keep moving forward, using action as their answer to insecurity. That's a lesson we can carry with us. When self-doubt whispers, don't freeze. Move. Speak. Try. Let action become your healing process. Now, let's talk about loyalty. Aries' loyalty is fierce. It's not casual. It's not halfway. When they choose you, whether as a friend, a partner, or even a coworker, they choose you completely. Their loyalty comes from an emotional contract they create in their heart. They don't announce it. They just feel it. You're part of their world now. And they'll stand by you until you break that trust. But betray that trust, and you'll see a different side. Aries can't tolerate betrayal. To them, trust is sacred. Once broken, it's almost impossible to rebuild. Not because they're cruel, but because their emotional security depends on knowing who is truly with them. This high standard might seem intimidating, but it's what makes their relationships so authentic. They don't settle for superficial bonds. They seek depth. In real life, this means Aries will defend you when no one else will. They'll celebrate your wins louder than you do. They'll fight for your dreams as if they were their own. But cross their boundary once, and the door quietly closes. Not out of anger, but self-respect. Ask yourself, do you value loyalty like that? Do you set boundaries that protect your emotional world? Aries shows us how healthy loyalty starts with self-worth. They don't cling to people who don't honor their space. Maybe, either should you. And then, there's their voice. Not their physical voice, but their voice as a person. Aries express themselves without filters. What they think, they say. What they feel, they show. And while that might make them seem blunt or direct, it's actually a profound form of emotional honesty. They choose authenticity over performance. Why? Because they're not here to please everyone. They're here to be real. And that's something rare in a world where we're told to fit in, to tone down, to play small. Aries refuses to shrink themselves. And in doing so, they give others silent permission to do the same. Imagine the power of expressing your truth, without apology. Saying no when you need to. Saying yes when your heart wants to. Speaking, even when your voice shakes. That's what Aries embodies. Not perfection, but presence. They're not afraid of their own emotions. And neither should we be. But expressing yourself doesn't mean being harsh. Aries teaches us that expressing what's real, without masks, without games, is a form of respect. For yourself. And for others. So, as you listen to this, maybe you're thinking of moments when you silenced yourself. When you held back. When you chose safety over truth. Remember this, your voice is part of your freedom. And Aries lives free. Each of these qualities might seem simple at first glance. But when you look deeper, they're psychological strategies. Tools that Aries uses, consciously or not, to survive and thrive. Trusting intuition. Leading their own path. Moving forward despite fear. Protecting their emotional world with fierce loyalty. Expressing without fear of rejection. These aren't just Aries traits. They're human lessons. Lessons that, perhaps, are waiting for you to claim. Have you ever noticed how some people are always searching for the next adventure? Always planning their next trip, their next experience, their next something new? That's Aries energy in its purest form. For Aries, staying in one place, both physically and mentally, feels like a slow death. They crave movement. Exploration. Change. But here's the deeper reason why Aries fears stagnation more than failure. In psychology, we often talk about growth mindsets. Aries live it. They see every new experience as a way to stay alive inside. That's why you'll find them taking weekend road trips on a whim. Starting new hobbies. Signing up for courses they know nothing about. It's not about recklessness. It's about keeping their inner fire burning. Now, imagine if you applied that mindset to your own life. What adventure are you putting off? What new experience are you avoiding because it feels unfamiliar? Aries reminds us, life doesn't happen inside your comfort zone. Every time they break routine, they're choosing to stay mentally and emotionally alive. Maybe you could, too. But here's where Aries surprises us. For all their fiery energy, they're not materialistic in the way many assume. They prioritize experiences over possessions. Think about someone you know who would rather spend money on a last-minute flight than a new phone. That's Aries. They understand something many people miss: happiness comes from living, not collecting. Psychologically, this reflects a deep form of emotional intelligence. They know that memories, emotions, and connections feed the soul more than objects ever will. Ask yourself, when was the last time you bought something just to feel better? And how long did that feeling last? Aries shows us a different path. Invest in moments, in stories, in life itself. Because when they look back, they don't measure their life by what they own, but by what they've lived. And yet, even with all their outward energy, Aries holds something powerful within. Their physical vitality is directly tied to their mental strength. It's not just coincidence that many Aries people are physically active. It's a psychological necessity for them. Their mind and body are connected more deeply than most signs. When they move, they think clearer. When they rest, they recharge not just physically, but emotionally. This is something modern life often makes us forget. In a world of screens and sitting still, Aries reminds us of something ancient: movement heals. Physical action fuels mental resilience. And this isn't just for Aries. It's a human truth. Next time your thoughts feel heavy, go for a walk. Do something with your body. Let movement clear your mind, the way Aries does without even thinking about it. And perhaps one of their most underestimated gifts is their ability to enjoy solitude. Yes, Aries, the sign of action, leadership, and passion, also knows how to be alone. But not in sadness. In peace. Aries doesn't need grand plans or elaborate distractions to feel content. They can sit in silence. Eat a simple meal. Watch the world without needing to be a part of it for a moment. This simplicity is not emptiness. It's presence. In psychology, this ability to sit with oneself is called individuation. It's the process of becoming whole without depending on others. Aries, without even realizing it, embodies this. They know who they are when the noise stops. They're comfortable with their own company. And that is a rare form of strength. How often do you give yourself that gift? Time alone, not to scroll or to work, but simply to be? Aries shows us that independence isn't just about standing alone in a crowd. It's about standing alone in your own mind and feeling at peace there. What all these traits have in common is something deeper than personality. They're strategies. Ways of living that Aries uses to protect their inner fire. Adventure keeps them alive. Experiences feed their soul. Movement clears their mind. Solitude restores their strength. And maybe, just maybe, these aren't Aries' secrets at all. Maybe they're human truths, waiting for you to rediscover. But don't think for a moment that Aries is finished teaching us. Because the next part of their story dives even deeper. Their indulgence in life's pleasures, their strict discipline with time, their perfectionist drive, and their fierce self-confidence reveal psychological lessons more surprising than you might imagine. And in the final chapters of this journey, we'll uncover 3 of the most vulnerable, controversial, and transformative truths about Aries, the ones people rarely talk about. Stay with me. The real revelations are yet to come. There's something curious about Aries that most people misunderstand. People assume they're impulsive spenders, careless with their resources. But in truth, Aries understands something much deeper about life. When they have money in their hands, they don't see it as something to be hoarded. They see it as energy. And energy is meant to flow. That's why they spend on things that bring them joy. It's not recklessness. It's freedom. Aries knows that tomorrow isn't promised. If a simple pleasure today can make them feel alive, they'll take it without hesitation. And here's the question for you. How often do you deny yourself small joys in the name of control or fear? Aries teaches us that life isn't just about surviving. It's about living. It's about moments. It's about giving yourself permission to feel good without guilt. That's not weakness. That's emotional courage. But Aries isn't just pleasure-seeking. There's a different side to them people often overlook. Their relationship with time is strict. Almost sacred. Aries hates being late. They hate wasting time. Not because they're obsessed with schedules, but because, to them, time equals respect. When they show up early, when they keep their promises, when they stick to their word, they're showing you something important. You matter to them. In a world where being late has almost become normal, Aries is a reminder of something simple yet powerful. Honoring other people's time is honoring their life. It's saying, I respect you. Maybe next time you feel tempted to delay or arrive late, remember, punctuality is more than a habit. It's an act of integrity. And there's another side of Aries that people admire yet sometimes misunderstand. Their perfectionist drive. Aries doesn't just do things halfway. They push themselves constantly. To work harder. To be better. To get every detail right. From the outside, it can look exhausting. But for Aries, it's not about perfection for praise. It's about refusing to settle. Psychologically, this links to a deep fear inside many Aries, the fear of becoming irrelevant. They don't want to be average. Not because they're arrogant, but because excellence is how they feel alive. It's how they protect their identity. It's how they prove to themselves that they're moving forward. Not standing still. Think about your own life. Where are you settling? Where are you telling yourself this is good enough when, deep down, you know it's not? Aries challenges you, not to exhaust yourself, but to rise. To aim higher. Not for perfection's sake, but because you deserve more than good enough. Now, we come to something that's impossible to ignore. Aries' confidence. You've seen it. The way they walk into a room. The way they speak, make decisions, handle challenges. It's not a show. It's not a mask. It's a belief. Aries trusts themselves. They trust their skills. Their voice. Their power. It's not that they never doubt. It's that they choose confidence even when doubt whispers. And confidence is magnetic. It draws people in. Not because Aries claims to know everything. But because they carry themselves as if they're capable of learning anything. That's the difference. Confidence isn't about already knowing. It's about believing you can figure it out. Think about people you admire. Leaders. Artists. Friends. What draws you to them? It's not perfection. It's presence. It's that calm, inner certainty that they're okay being themselves. Aries embodies that. And they teach us that confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you choose. Every single day. So the question for you is simple. What would change in your life if you started believing in yourself, before waiting for proof? This part of the Aries journey reveals so much more than personality quirks. It shows us how discipline and indulgence can coexist. How working hard and enjoying life don't have to be opposites. How respecting time, pursuing excellence, and embracing joy can build a life that's both successful and satisfying. But the story isn't over yet. In fact, the final 3 Aries secrets are the ones few people ever see. Hidden layers that reveal not just Aries' strength, but their deepest vulnerabilities. And perhaps, the greatest lessons about what it means to be truly human. Keep listening. What's coming next might surprise you the most. Have you ever noticed how some people solve problems like it's the easiest thing in the world? While others panic, freeze, or overthink, they stay calm. Focused. Unbothered. That's Aries. But it's not because life is easier for them. It's because of how they handle pressure. When a problem appears, Aries doesn't sit there worrying about what might go wrong. They immediately shift into action. Their mind becomes clear, like a soldier preparing for battle. Every step becomes simple, one solution, then the next. And what's fascinating is that this isn't just instinct. It's a psychological habit. A choice. Aries understands, maybe without even realizing it, that panic doesn't solve problems. Action does. They train themselves, over time, to trust their ability to find a way out. And that trust becomes a cycle. The more they act, the more they succeed. The more they succeed, the more they trust themselves. It's a lesson we all can learn. Because when life gets hard, thinking more isn't always the answer. Sometimes, moving forward is. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Aries doesn't just handle one challenge at a time. They can handle many. Their energy feels endless. While others get tired, overwhelmed, distracted, Aries keeps going. It's like they have an inner fire that never runs out. They'll work on their goals, chase personal dreams, help their friends, plan their next adventure, all at once. And still have energy left at the end of the day. Of course, it's not magic. It's purpose. Aries has this rare ability to stay focused because they know why they're moving. Their goals aren't random. They're deeply personal. And when you care about your goals, when they're connected to your identity, you don't need motivation. You just move. Think about that. Are the goals you're working toward actually important to you? Or are they things you feel you're supposed to want? Aries teaches us that real energy, real drive, comes from doing things that light you up inside. Not from chasing what looks good to others. But beneath all that strength, all that fire, lies something people rarely see. A hidden truth. Aries has insecurities. Deep ones. Yes. Even the boldest, most confident Aries sometimes feel small inside. They doubt themselves. They wonder if they're good enough. They fear failing in ways they never say out loud. The difference is, they don't let those fears stop them. Aries carries their doubts quietly. Behind the brave smile. Behind the loud voice. Behind the fearless actions. It's easy to look at someone like Aries and think, they've got it all together. But the truth? They're fighting silent battles every day. And that makes them even stronger. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to move forward. Even when fear whispers, you can't. What would happen if you treated your own insecurities that way? What if you acknowledged your fear and acted anyway? Aries shows us that strength isn't about never doubting. It's about refusing to be ruled by those doubts. Now, let's look at something softer. Something often hidden behind Aries' bold energy. Their love for people. Aries thrives in connection. Starting the day alone drains them. Being surrounded by friends, laughter, and energy, that's what fills their soul. But it's not just about being in a crowd. Aries values meaningful relationships. Real connections. The kind where they can be themselves. No filters. No pretenses. They're the friend who shows up. Who calls you randomly. Who pulls you into new adventures just to see you smile. Their love for connection isn't about popularity. It's about sharing life with people who matter to them. And here's the hidden gift in this. Aries reminds us that we're not meant to face life alone. No matter how strong you are. No matter how independent. Human connection is fuel. Joy multiplies when it's shared. Pain feels lighter when someone listens. Aries doesn't isolate themselves to prove strength. They embrace people to stay strong. When was the last time you let someone in? Not just small talk, not just scrolling through messages. Real connection. Let Aries energy inspire you to pick up the phone. To meet that friend for coffee. To say yes to that invitation. Not because you need people to complete you, but because life feels richer when shared. These 4 qualities, calm problem solving, endless drive, hidden vulnerability, and love for real connections, paint a much deeper picture of Aries than most people ever see. They're not just bold. They're complex. Human. Strong, yet sensitive. Brave, yet unsure. Independent, yet craving connection. And as we move closer to the heart of Aries energy, prepare yourself. Because the final 3 secrets we're about to uncover might reveal the most vulnerable, the most controversial, and perhaps the most transformative lessons of all. Stay with me. What comes next might change how you see Aries forever. There's something magnetic about Aries that goes beyond their confidence. It's the way they carry themselves. The way they trust their own worth, without waiting for anyone to validate them. Aries walks into a room like they belong there. Not because someone told them they do, but because, deep down, they've decided they're enough. This self-assurance isn't loud. It's not arrogant. It's steady. Quiet. Natural. And here's the lesson hidden beneath that confidence. Aries doesn't spend time doubting whether they deserve love, success, or happiness. They believe they do. And that belief shapes every choice they make. Imagine how your life would change if you chose to believe you're worthy. Before anyone else says it. Before life proves it. What could shift for you if you stopped apologizing for taking up space? But there's something else. Aries doesn't just crave confidence in themselves. They're drawn to people who carry that same energy. They're attracted to partners, friends, mentors, who know their own worth. Not because Aries needs competition, but because they thrive beside strength. Aries seeks equals, not followers. People who challenge them, inspire them, and remind them that confidence can be shared energy, not just a solo trait. Look at your relationships. Do the people around you reflect your strength, or drain it? Maybe it's time to let Aries energy guide you. Seek out those who build you up. Who mirror your power. Who remind you to stand tall, even on your quietest days. And now, we reach the heart of Aries. The truth few people talk about. Passion. Not just in love, but in life itself. Aries doesn't love halfway. They feel everything deeply. Fiercely. Sometimes too much. Their relationships burn bright. Their arguments are loud not because they want to hurt, but because they care. Every fight, every disagreement, every moment of frustration, it all comes from the same place. Devotion. When Aries loves you, they love you completely. Their fire is real. But with that fire comes intensity. Their relationships are rarely peaceful. Not because they seek chaos, but because they're incapable of pretending. Aries refuses to fake calm when they're hurt. They refuse to act distant when they care. Their emotions demand honesty. And that's where their real vulnerability appears. Aries loves fearlessly. But that means their heart gets broken just as deeply. Every argument cuts. Every disappointment lingers. But they don't shut down. They lean in. They argue because they want to fix it. They fight because they don't want to lose you. Their passion isn't destruction. It's an invitation. To be real. To connect. Maybe you know someone like this. Someone whose love feels like wildfire. And maybe it scares you. But Aries teaches us that passion isn't a flaw. It's a form of bravery. Loving fully. Hurting honestly. Showing up even when it's messy. That's strength. And if you're the one holding back, ask yourself why. Is it fear? Past pain? Aries asks you to consider, what if loving openly, even imperfectly, is the real answer? So, what does Aries really teach us? It's not just about being bold or confident. It's about choosing yourself. Every day. It's about moving forward. Even when you're scared. Speaking your truth, even when it shakes. Loving without pretending. Standing alone when needed. And letting people in when your soul craves connection. Aries energy reminds us Life is not meant to be watched. It's meant to be lived. And maybe that's what you needed to hear today. If you saw yourself somewhere in this video, or maybe recognized someone you love, I hope you'll carry these lessons with you. And if this message touched something inside you, don't forget to subscribe. You're part of this journey now. Hit like if you felt connected. And share this video with someone who needs to understand their own fire. There's so much more to explore together. More signs. More stories. More secrets written in the stars and in our hearts. So stay curious. Stay brave. And I'll see you in the next video.